It was a historic night for the San Jose Sharks, hanging to the rafters, the one, the only, Mr. Shark, Patrick Marleau. We also had a game to play too. Unfortunately, the Sharks couldn't come out on top on this one, but they made it interesting and lost in the shootout. We'll talk about that and more after this. But first, if you want to be a part of the show and Teal together with us, check us out across all of the social media platforms, that being YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, and the shenanigans on TikTok. Check out all of that and more at tealtownusa.com. And of course, if you want to help support the pod, check us out over on Venmo as well at tealtownusa. We appreciate all of the donations, appreciate all of your patronage. It's what we do for you. So, that being said, we've got a stacked house this evening. Dana and Puckguy are joining me. First, let me swap around some nameplates here because Puckguy is not Dana.
No, far
from
from
had a
it.
lot of work done.
There we go. But Puckguy, tell me, I mean, what was the night like? I mean, it seemed pretty electric from the get-go at that initial ceremony, but a lot of misty eyes and a lot of great Sharks memories.
It was an epic night. Good evening to both of you. Last night with the Legends game, it was just crazy in here, and it was just an outstanding night for. It was a great night for Caleb Marleau. Let's say for sure for that he had a hat trick in there. But tonight, this is the first time the Sharks have ever done this in their history. Knocked it out of the park. I mean, they really did a great job bringing it out. I mean, I'm like, when I see Jumbo coming out, I'm like, Jumbo, don't cry. Jumbo, don't. Damn it, Jumbo. Why are you making me cry now? Damn it. Come on. It was an incredible night in here. Like I tweeted out, the other night, I know it's been, we're going to go on to year 4 of missing the playoffs, but this place felt like a playoff game. This place was going nuts when Karlsson tied, and spoiler alert, but, I mean, it was just electric in here. I mean, getting inside the building at 3:45 for a game that's eventually going to take place 4 hours later, it's like, oh, boy. But this place was really unreal. It was filled to the brim, just as I don't know if you can get it, if we're getting a good shot of it, but a great shot of the banner here, because it's been absolutely amazing night all around.
Yeah, I mean, it's from what they said, it was a sellout, and from what we were hearing on the chants over the broadcast, it seemed like people were into it. I mean, it felt electric, and again, I think Randy had mentioned that the most energy he's seen in a regular season game, broadcasting, and not only that, but I think we need to tip our hats to the whole organization for especially on the business side, for putting this together and getting the logistics of this, because it was a year in the making, and they needed to have something extremely special for one of the most iconic players in our team's history, and it's, of course, anytime you retire a number, it's special, but to have the extra Bay Area Hall of Famers come out, to have the whole roster of alumni there, and players past and present, to have his current the current players that have played with him to also be there, and again, just doing such a great job bringing Kelly Rudy in, bringing Scott Thornton in. I saw him in the back. Of course, Jumbo would be there. I mean, those two are like brothers, right? So, they'll be always joined at the hip for sure. But it was just a first class job across all the areas that you wanted to see a great ceremony, and you know I think something fitting for the test of time. That
Yes.
thing is going to be hanging for the rest of time in SAP and the rest of the Sharks' existence. And yeah, something very special, and you don't get to see it often.
Yeah, it's something special. I know it's been a it's been a long day and it's been crazy, but this whole weekend has been worth it for sure. And heck, you got a good game out of this too. My goodness, guys. I mean, you guys have a great game to talk about, in which the Sharks, made it entertaining, made it come back, pull the goalie, tie in the third, and it's just kept going. It's been crazy.
Jerry, thank you so much. We appreciate it, buddy. Super chat donation 12 for 12. Congratulations, Patty. As a Sharks fan, that ceremony was so moving. I think not only that, Jerry, but I think if we can also add part of the Bay Area fabric of sports in general. For a long time, the Sharks were kind of seen as the baby team in the Bay Area, the team that I think people would come and especially be cognizant and aware of them when they were in the playoffs, but always kind of ebbed and flowed in that regular season. But today, it just seemed as if the whole fabric of the Bay Area kind of came together and said, hey, we're going to honor one of the franchise's superstars that really put butts in seats, really was an awesome member of the community, still to this day, is a San Jose resident, and somebody who likes to be involved in his community. And he said, San Jose will always be his home, his forever home. And as a person born in the Bay Area, having a transplant come there and say that that's going to be your forever home. I mean, that one hit me in the feels too. So, again, great presentation, great set of highlights, great atmosphere. It just was perfect. I don't think I could have asked for anything different. Puckguy, you want to leave us with your final thoughts and we can let you go and you can get on out?
Yeah, I'll say you two have fun tonight. Don't stay up too late, both of you. I mean, it is practically late for us.
Yeah, too late for
but
me.
all in all, it's an awesome weekend all around. It's been fun covering all of this and kind of getting a sneak peek in. And if you haven't after the show here, did put on the post banner raising ceremony on our YouTube channel right here. So be on the lookout for that. So with that, it's been a fun weekend. I have an hour drive and work at 4 a.m., so I'm going to leave it to you two. Have fun. Just make sure you're knocking and having fun while doing this, because after all, it's fun to see Patty kind of let the hair down a little bit. You could see he's been enjoying retirement, and it really showed this weekend. So, Dana, Erik, have fun. I will see you guys later this week. Appreciate you both. All right.
All right. Thank you, Puckguy. We appreciate it. Have a safe trip home and try and get as much sleep as you can, buddy. I know tomorrow's going to be a grind.
as long as I don't get on the snow grade and start snoring. You two know about that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All
right,
right,
everyone. Have fun.
All right, Puckguy. Have a good one.
Good night.
Dana, so it was... I think, like you had said, it was just a marvelous evening. I mean, what were your takeaways? And I mean, what are your feelings of the whole ceremony and just the emotions that you felt as that thing went up?
Yeah, so Marleau was drafted in the year I was born, when I was literally a month old. Needless to say, I don't remember that, but I did grow up with Marleau never not being a Shark. And that was just a name I always knew since before I could remember. So to me and pretty much everyone, like Patrick Marleau is the Sharks. And yeah, like for me growing up, like the Sharks were an established team, but that's because of guys like Marleau and, Thornton, obviously, like he, I guess, joined when I was like a little bit older, but Marleau being a big part of that, not necessarily the Sharks' first big star, but probably the first that was like homegrown, who really came in as just a little kid with lots of talent, not little, big, but young, lots of talent, and decided to stick it out with the Sharks, even when they were maybe still like a small market team, I guess. So obviously he's just like really special to all of us, and it was cool sharing it with my husband, who's only become a hockey fan in the past few years, just like through me, and him realizing like, wow, like I've heard you and your family talk so much about Marleau and that era of the Sharks, but it was like hitting him like, oh my, like wow, he like really is, he is the Sharks. And
he's Mr.
getting
Shark.
to watch getting to watch the highlights of him was awesome. Just when you put together that list of all his accomplishments, it's insane. And yeah, I don't see how he doesn't end up in the Hall of Fame in the next few years. It'd be crazy if he didn't.
Quickly before we go any further, I just want to say thank you, SG Sports Talk channel, for Venmoing. I did see it. I was going to get to you. Just wanted to make sure that we got Puckguy checked out and making sure he's going to be okay to hit the road. So appreciate your patience, but we are always thankful for the donations and appreciate all of the patronage. Really, it goes to helping the content that we provide, and to continue keeping the lights on the website, the subscriptions all up to date. So again, we thank you, and we really appreciate it. Well, Dana, we have a game to talk about, and this part, I think.
You sure? No, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good game, and I think, we had a little bit of an auspicious start. We had David Gust with his first shot in the NHL, first game of the NHL, and of course, as a 29-year-old, a little bit of an overager AHL journeyman type, coming in and getting his first goal and his first shot. Well, it would just have to be the Sharks, right? Because that's just what we do. But
of course, so generous, so charitable. I can't lie. I hope I don't get booted off of the show, but I was at least a little bit happy for him. Just as an individual, I do not like the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are very much near the bottom of my list of favorite teams. But it's cool to see. It's always cool to see someone get their first goal again. Just rooting for an individual as opposed to a team. It was annoying how quickly the goal came, and that kind of, to me, was the realization, like, oh right, this team still kind of sucks. Like we're reliving the glory days of seemingly nonstop contention, but we're still here for right now. The second golden age is still a ways away, but we'll get there, and then maybe in 20 years it'll be someone else's name in the rafters.
Yeah,
maybe starts with a B and then an E and then a D and then a D.
But I think you're echoing the same points that I wanted to make. Was again another really quick strike by the opposition, coming in at 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Blackwell and Dickinson getting the assist on David Gust's goal, and this one it was a puck that had really started off from behind the net. And kind of pinballed over to Gust and was right there to make a great shot and catch Capo Kakkonen a little bit going from side to side. And again, we had always mentioned that was an area we look at with him, because there are days where he's got very, very good post-to-post movement, and there are days where you feel like he's a little bit slow to the uptake and a little bit slow to get the pads down when he does slide from side to side. And this one was such a quick strike that to me it's not on him. You could see it just slithered right underneath the pad as he was going to make the save. So he was there positionally, but again, getting that pad down just a half a millisecond would have made the save. But again, it came so quickly from behind that didn't really have too much of a chance to make the save there. But we'd have an action-packed first period, because Nick Bonino would come back and score at 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Nick's 10th of the season, with McDonald and Sturm getting the assists there. And Bonino, I mean, this one was just great positioning by him, kind of stealthily moved into the side of the slot area, kind of the quiet ice, but was unmarked, and they were able to get the puck out to him, and he made a quick shot and caught Mrazek going from side to side. And Peter was on his A game tonight, and we'll talk about the number of saves, because it was quite a big shot differential there, but Nicky was able to bury it and again give some energy back to the Sharks, and we had some good back and forth. What did you see on Nick's goal, Dana?
Just the Sharks sticking with a play a lot longer than they have in recent games. So I think it became safe to conclude that the ceremony, wasn't resulting in a sluggish effort like things sometimes do, which is great. Maybe that was kind of something I was a little afraid of for this game. Not going to lie, that such a wonderful ceremony could result in some sluggishness and that kind of thing. But I appreciated seeing some of the guys who haven't been scoring as much to show up. And I thought it wasn't the kind of play you set up carefully. It was very much just I see an opportunity, I'm going to go for it. And obviously Mrazek was really sharp tonight overall. So the fact that they did find the ways to get some past him was good. I will say on the first goal, I agree with you about Kakkonen struggling in just the reaction time, but he definitely got sharper as the game went on. I think. I mean, there was, the extra Chicago goals, but I think
he settled
has
in.
been. Yes, yeah. I think Ferraro has been struggling some as of late. I feel like on the first goal, I wouldn't blame him, but the awareness of Gus being right next to him, sometimes there are just these guffaws that lead to goals, and so that's something I've noticed. But overall, he puts the effort in usually, so I'm not mad at him. But I feel like he's capable of more than what he's shown this season.
He definitely seems like he has regressed, though. From a defensive positioning and kind of awareness. Before, he played with a little bit more poise, and maybe it was playing with Brent, but right. It was keeping his game simpler. Maybe he feels like he's got to do more now, and that might be affecting his game in general. But getting back to the first period, Brett Seney would score at 5:12, so literally a minute after Nick got the Sharks all tied up. Jones getting an assist there, so that would make it 2-1 Chicago. And then Evgeny Svechnikov getting his 8th of the year, with Sturm and Vlasic getting the assists. And this one was just a really good effort kind of goal. And Evgeny was kind of scooting off to the side, kind of starting to exit the play, and then the puck just kind of kicked right out to him, and he had a Mrazek again moving laterally, and we said that that's probably one of the best plays to make to get the goalie moving from left to right, because it is, for most goaltenders, a weakness. So they were able to capitalize again on getting one of those corner shots. And a guy that I've liked his game the whole season. I thought maybe scapegoated a little bit earlier on in the season for some of the struggles and didn't deserve to be plucked out of the lineup. But it's good to see him getting on the score sheet. And I think Evgeny Svechnikov would be a good fourth line piece to keep around. And I think I'd like to see more of him integrated into a more stable fourth line. Because I think that there is some potential there. Maybe he's not a 20 goal scorer, but maybe he can chip in like 10 to 15 goals on a fourth line. That, would be incredibly useful. And and again, 35 points in 82 games for a fourth liner. It sounds good, and he's responsible in his own zone for the most part. Sometimes he's prone to giving up the puck here or there, but that's something that can be sharpened up a little bit. But I think, again, just a player that's got a good motor, and I liked what I have seen. So good for him to get on the score sheet and to get the Sharks back into it. Going into the second period, we wouldn't have any scoring, but we would definitely have a parade to the penalty box, that's for sure. The Sharks would take 3 straight penalties against, one at 3:47, one at 6:54, and then we had a little bit of a dust-up fight that resulted in an extra roughing minor to Noah Gregor. So again, seemed like the Sharks were maybe a little bit victimized here. The first couple of calls, the holding call on Logan, I thought, kind of ticky-tacky. And then the Mikey Azimont hooking, I thought that one was the most ticky-tacky of the 3. And then with Noah, the roughing, I think he was lucky that he didn't get the instigator there. So again, you can choose your battles with the refs or what have you, but it seemed like
Mike Domi.
In the first period, we didn't get any whistles, right? And we didn't get any penalties, but in that second, it was a parade. So Dana, what were you seeing from the refs tonight to kind of like going from nothing to everything all at once?
Well, what I'm seeing for me tonight is I just said Mike Domi and then Matt Domi, and then I was like, oh, Max Domi. I got on the third try. Guys, I'm really sleepy. I'm trying here. But regarding the refs, maybe they were sleepy too. I think they, missed calls here and there, and some of the calls were kind of questionable. And the Sharks didn't get their first power play until like the third period, right? So I don't know what was going on there, but definitely interesting dynamic. And as I'm sure we'll touch on soon, Max Domi was also not a fan of the refs tonight, maybe for different reasons.
So going into that third period, Max Domi would actually I think it was at the latter half of the second. He got an errant stick. It was from a follow through that hit him in the teeth and lost, I think, 2 or 3 teeth out there on the ice, and was completely livid, saying that, hey, this wasn't a follow through. This was, him, not being aware with his stick, and it should be a penalty. And, he was barking at the refs all the way back to the bench. Clearly you could hear it through Drew's mic. You could hear him chirping at the referee and just unloading on him. And, I'm surprised that these refs took as much abuse from both teams tonight as they did, because both sides were really upset with the officiating. One, the Sharks were beside themselves on the 3 penalties in a row, and then the extra roughing minor. But again, the Blackhawks had issues with the refs as well. So again, could have been more about the clock management more than anything else, because the game did get delayed a little bit getting it started, and again, these guys they're human, right? So they'll probably want to get home and getting to watch reruns of Melrose Place or something, but who knows. But yeah, it was interesting. That's for sure, because I thought we were going to have maybe like 2 or 3 penalties called the whole game, and then we got the kitchen sink in that second. So going into the third, I mean, Max Domi would come out with a fire lit underneath his rear end. He scores 16 seconds into the third with just a beautiful top corner snipe. McCabe and Mrazek getting the assist. And this one, I mean, you cannot fault Capo on this one. It's glove high, right in the top corner where the mama hides the cookie jar, as as Rick Jenneret would say. And again, just one of those really, really nice goals. So I tip my hat on that one to Max Domi for sure. You could say the Sharks' defensive positioning there was off, but again, he was just coming in with a vengeance that I don't think, even if there was somebody posted up on him, he still was going to skate through that. So again, just tip my hat to that one. And we would see the Sharks really put on the pressure. And I had talked about getting to the shot counter here. Overall, the shots were 35-48, but in that third period, the Sharks put 16 shots on net. And Peter Mrazek just continued to stop shot after shot. And it wasn't just like one and done or perimeter type shots, but it was high danger shots as well. You could definitely see that both teams had some juice in this one, and both came to play. And I thought, like you had said, Capo had gotten stronger through the game, and really, I think, kind of met the challenge that Mrazek kind of threw out there, and I think acquitted himself well. But it would take up until 17:49 of the third period for Mr. EK65 to come off of a game in which he didn't get a point. I think, did he go two games without a point? I believe it was 2 games without a point, and getting a really nice wind up slap shot from the from the top of the face-off circle. So again, really great shot. It was good to see EK getting the team back into it. Vlasic and Couture would get the assists there. And that would bring Karlsson's goal total up to 19, so almost to that 20-goal mark. And I mean, what more can we say about EK65? He's on a roll, and if there's a market for him, I think he's just increasing the haul with each and every point that he gets. So again, if he is going to be sticking here with us in San Jose, I hope that this continues, and we get to see a good longevity of superstar Erik Karlsson. That's for sure, because it's special to watch. If not, then again, you're trying to get the best value you can, and make the moves for the organization that makes sense for the future. Dana, I mean, do you want to cap off anything that you saw in that third period before we head over to the overtime?
Yeah. Actually, if I could go back to the Svechnikov goal, because I had some thoughts on that. It was fun to watch. He was just so exuberant, and I loved his celly. Sometimes I feel like the Sharks have just skipped cellies, especially if it's it feels like they're just aren't playing for anything. But tonight they were playing not only for Patty, but I feel like for the crowd, for the fans. They finally got a chance to entertain a sellout crowd, 18,000 people as opposed to like 10,000 or whatever it has been. And that was really evident. And it like filled my soul. My crops are watered. My skin is thriving. It was awesome. And I super look forward to the day that we have that every night, night in, night out again. I would love to keep Svech around, just so Puckguy can keep saying Mr. Svechnikov that he got from I don't know where. He still hasn't told me. Yeah, and then in the third, the Gregor goal being called back was disappointing, and I think it probably was offside. But they took so long to decide, and everyone was just like, "Oh my God, we've been here for 4 hours. Please, can we get on with it?" But in the end, poor Noah Gregor is still technically snake bitten. So I don't know, but the effort was there. Good pass by Karlsson. He got his moment later. Of course, the Sharks did nothing with their power play, which was disappointing because was it the only one they got all game, right? Just one. Well, yep. And then for that Karlsson goal towards the end, it's definitely really satisfying to see when pulling the goalie actually works. And I could tell like a little bit of a weight was lifted off his shoulders because the horror he went 2 games without a point, guys. Which bent him. It was an awesome goal, and it was awesome to see the crowd get going. And I saw some empty seats, which makes me think some people might have snuck out a little early. And again, it is satisfying to see a goal be scored when some people have already left because they think the game is over. Okay, in fairness, probably people had to get back home. It was late. But
well, and I mean, the plus Caltrain too leaves at 10:30, right? So
true. Okay. Sorry, guys.
That is the one.
But yeah.
That is the one area that I think if the city of San Jose and the VTA want to really work with the Sharks is to add an extra train for the end of the night after the game is completed. I think that would serve to help some of that, keeping the crowd in the seats for longer. But of course, they have their schedules that they've got to keep as well. So. Again, we appreciated all of the fans being there and appreciated the atmosphere that we got for Patty. And it's unfortunate in that overtime period, the Sharks would get a few chances, but they would take another penalty. And this one was Logan Couture holding the stick, and out of all the penalties they called, that one to me was just it just seemed like Domi sold that one like kind of a little egregiously. And it's like, look, if you have the embellishment in the hip pocket as a penalty that can be called, use it more often. Make it offset. Keep it at 3-on-3 and keep the flow going. I don't like power plays in the overtime period because it goes to 4-on-3, which is always a funky power play to begin with. And I think it breaks up the fun that is the 3-on-3. Now, of course, you can't you can't not call penalties, but that is the one drawback of having the 3-on-3 is adding the extra skater for the power play. So again, I think that one to me kind of sucked and really kind of deflated the team. And I think after that point, going into the shootout, I mean, the team failed to score on any of its shots, and the Blackhawks were able to get one of their penalty shots on net and get it past Capo Kakkonen, which was really unfortunate because he played well overall. I mean, he ended the night tonight with a .914 save percentage, stopping 32 of 35 shots. And again, one of his better showings. So, especially in that overtime period, he stopped the breakaway from Max Domi again. And I thought it was like, man, okay, he really did, he saw what Mrazek did and thought, okay, I need to step it up, and he played well. So we come to the end, and unfortunately, it wasn't a win for Patty, but it was an exciting game, a great presentation, great evening in general, and that will put a bow on the night's action. So Dana, we got to talk. What was our posted count?
I believe, okay, 4. So last time we were at 44, so now we're at 48. Yay, hurdle.
Yeah, we're at the hurdle number.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, hurdle. Come on, get it back, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this will send him good luck, good vibes. So as far as the content of the post-its, I mostly covered everything. Just, as we went along through the game. Yeah, pretty much. I really enjoyed OT, and I really there were a lot of close calls where Kakkonen made not the most like athletic or dramatic saves, but just had his pad in the right spot at the right time and really kept the Sharks in it. And I really felt the energy and the momentum, and I really thought they were going to win, and so it was disappointing that they didn't, because like I am on Team Tick at this point. I know I never thought I would say that, but this draft is too good to resist. But I was really hoping they would win this game. But at least they brought the energy. I could tell they were playing for Patty. They were playing for that whole crowd. And I think there are still things to be proud of and players who showed up. So, it wasn't the dumpster fire it could have been. Let's put it that way.
Well, with that, in case you missed us and you want to check us out again, check us out across all of your podcatchers of choice, that being the Apple Podcast, the Google Play Store, the YouTube Rewind, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, Audacity, and of course at tealtownusa.com. Smash the likes, the sub, and the bell to get notified when we go live. Of course, if you're a long timer, we go live after every Sharks game. It's what we do and what we'll continue to do. And we definitely appreciate it. Dana, what are your final thoughts and where the people can find you?
My final thoughts are I'm already like 40% asleep, guys, so definitely gonna hop in bed pretty soon. But I did enjoy the game. I enjoyed the ceremony. And yeah. People can find me at Dana May with 2 Y's on Twitter and Instagram.
Thank you, and appreciate you hopping on with me. I know tonight was definitely a slog, but we got through it.
Hell yeah.
As far as final thoughts from myself is I appreciate everybody bearing through my cold. I'm still getting over this flu bug, so still got a little bit of the sweats, and of course you can see in my face I'm definitely kind of pale still, so I'm gonna try and get some sleep here.
You're glowing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As I wipe away the sweat from my head. But no, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. I know it was a late one. And again, from everybody at Teal Town USA, we really appreciate it. And as far as where you can find me, you can use my first name, that's Erik, E-R-I-K, and my last name, Landy, L-A-N-D-I, across all of the social media garbage. And for everybody at Teal Town USA, keep it real, keep it teal. Keep it real, Teal. Good night. Thank you, everyone, and we will catch you after the next game.